Hello, Cancer. Welcome to your weekly reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If you're watching this reading was meant to find you. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Cancer, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And you as the hermit, right? You as the one trying to, I think, resist a lot of the energy coming from outside, right? I see the hermit as someone with a very thick cloak on, trying to resist the, trying to stay dry, trying to get out of the rain. I think trying to shield yourself from a lot of negative energy going, not even negative energy, right? Just trying to shield yourself from a lot of the influence coming from outside. You're trying to go your own way. You're trying to find your true path. You're trying to use your genius, trying to follow your own light. It's hard to follow your light when everybody else around you has a flashlight too, right? And it's kind of like, all right, we need to shield our light a little bit so that we can see it and we can follow and we can do what is right for us without too much influence from everybody else. Okay? This is a time of introspection for you. I think that you do your most intense spiritual work at this time of year. At least in the Northern Hemisphere now, we're sort of getting through autumn, we're about to get into winter. I think this is where you really kind of, you get into that very spiritual state. You maybe spend more time meditating, spend more time in contemplation. It's kind of like the outward activity is sort of winding down and we're getting inside of ourselves. Let's see what you're doing during this time. All right, let's put this card into a little bit of context. We see a Queen of Pentacles, a Seven of Cups, a Four of Pentacles, a Queen of Wands, and the Lover's card. Very interesting. I find that you are focused a lot on health and well-being right now. I think that you're trying to save money and you're trying to get through some bad habits, trying to replace some bad habits maybe with some good ones, right? There's this little bit of this kind of swampy feeling, and I think that we're trying to cleanse, we're trying to purge, and I think that you're kind of at a bit of a turning point with this the Queen of Pentacles looking at the past, getting ready to turn toward the future. Okay? Feels to me like that is the turning point. And that is really, this is the card of the turning point, right? Because with the Queen of Pentacles, we're looking at the past. And we're understanding it. We're trying to figure it out. We're trying to learn from it. We're trying to see what its significance was. Its significance was. We're trying to distill that history into little kernels of wisdom. And once we sort of have that, then we can sort of turn our gaze to the future. And we're starting to look a little bit further ahead in life, right? And so that's part of this introspective process. To assess who we are, where we are, what we've been through, to recapitulate. Right? The history before us, the last few months, maybe the last 4 months. Trying to spend the time now to say, what the heck happened that last 4 months? What was I doing? What was all that about? All that activity? And that sort of puts us back into summertime, So we think about the last few months, and now we're trying to understand it. We're trying to consolidate it. We're sort of doing an internal spiritual debriefing. And then comes that turning point where we have to then take everything and apply it to the future. And I see that with this Lover's card. Because the Lover's card is kind of like we're re-engaging. The Hermit is kind of, the Hermit's disengaged. But the Hermit's going to turn around and then re-engage. So it could be that the last few months have been quite the whirlwind for you. And we kind of need a few months of sort of detoxing, a few months of kind of cleansing and getting ourselves back in shape, and then we're going to be ready to sort of go back again, you know, and start it once more. This could be a yearly cycle for you. It could be a karmic cycle. It could be a relationship thing. It could be that we got out of a relationship, and now you're spending some time alone, and you're figuring out what that was and what that taught you and what that taught you about yourself. What that taught you about your own needs and desires, and some of your own karma. And then we're ready to turn our face toward the sun and come together again. The Lover's card does not have to be romance. Put your pitchforks away, Cancer. But it could be, right? It could be. I feel like this is now, we're getting ready to sort of re-engage with life. Okay, that we are working toward being ready to come together again, whether it's with family, friends, coworkers, a lover, a particular person, or we are looking to close the gap between ourself and our self, capital S. Could be a spiritual union with the Lover's card, right? Whatever the details in your life, the Lover's card is about making the choice to commit, recommitting in your case, perhaps. Okay, it could be getting back on the horse, right? After, after a period of time, I think a few months ago, where things weren't quite as I take back the whole whirlwind thing. More than a whirlwind, I feel like this was a situation that kind of almost smothered you and almost, I think, made you feel a little claustrophobic. Yeah. And I think that the Hermit is ready to understand the situation and re-engage. If there's anything, Cancer, you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know in the comments. We'll put the rest of our cards on the table. We have an 8 of Wands, we have a Prince of Cups, a 4 of Swords, and a 10 of Swords. And the 10 of Swords is interesting because it is kind of a bird cage. To me, it represents the ending of a cycle. The kind of, to me, feels as if we don't consciously turn things around and re-engage with life, and we try to linger here in this hermit mode too long, right? I feel like things are really going to break down. It's going to be diminished returns here. We're doing something very productive in this hermit energy with this Queen of Pentacles. But if we don't re-engage, we're going to end up sort of, it's kind of like when you're fasting, right? You're fasting for health reasons or something, and it's very good. You do this intermittent fasting, or maybe do longer fasts, and it's good. We feel like we're getting healthy. We're cleaning out a lot of toxins, right? We're detoxing, purifying, cleansing. But if we do it too long, the fast starts to turn against us. It starts to eat away at us, and we end up sort of losing muscle mass. It eats into our organs. It's going to be really bad, right? And that's kind of a 10 of Swords. Our original intention for being here has now gone too far, and it's working against us. So it's sort of a law of diminishing returns, but diminishing returns now into actually losses. So it's diminished way too far, you know. And so I think this is kind of, this is a bit of a caution, I think. Whatever this intermediate period is that we're in now, staying too long is going to start working against us. Okay. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right here and put our little sea turtle friend right on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need. If you have a prediction for that card, please put it in the comments. Let's take a look around the room. Two major arcana energies, the Hermit and the Lovers. Very opposite, right? I mean, quite different. The Hermit is sort of turning within, looking inside, choosing self over anything else, trying to protect your energy from any kind of outside influences. Maybe maybe you're just taking a beat. You're taking a week or a day or a few minutes. Figure out what you really want. Figure out what your light is really telling you. And maybe we're in this relationship now, and it's kind of like, I need a little bit of time. Figure out what I want. Okay? And then the Hermit gives way to the Lover's card. And maybe this is the choice. Maybe this is a turning point for you, where the Hermit is sort of turning back around and choosing this. Choosing to be part of the world. Choosing to go back to the job or to stay in the relationship. Choosing to commit again to whatever this work is. Committed to your perhaps a creative adventure or a quest. Okay, but think, first of all, Seven of Cups. We've got to cleanse ourselves of this toxic energy. We've got to let this, and maybe this is a mood, right? Maybe this is just a negative feeling that's been sort of stuck on you because of, again, something happened a few months ago. Or maybe more recently than that, I don't know. But before you're ready to re-engage or to get back on the horse or to put yourself back out there, maybe start dating again, maybe to re-engage with the world or whatever it may be. First, we have to shake this. Okay? First, we got to shake this off of us. Otherwise, we're miserable. We're Scrooge. We don't want to do it. We're not ready to do it until we can purge this, until we can detox from this. This feels like some negative energy, okay? So we have our two major arcana. I think this is the turning point. From Hermit to Lovers. From a focus inward to then a re-engaging with family or friends or life in general, or to getting back to the social scene or getting back to the dating world or whatever it is. Choosing to unite, right? Choosing partnership rather than solitude. Yeah. And it's the turning point. And I think there is an element of karma here. We got a 4 and a 4. So we've got our majors. We got fire and fire. Water and water. All right. We've got air and air. We've got earth and earth. 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2. 2 of everything. Right? And I feel like that's kind of going from one thing to the other. But it's a 2. It's all about options. It's all about the choice. It's all about the change, the fluctuation, the turning point. Went from up to down, from black to white, from in to out. Right? From yin to yang. From hot to cold, cold to hot, whatever you want to do. So there's that duality here. Okay? And I think it really is the confirmation of this idea of a turning point in your life. Okay? It could be that you've sort of disappeared from public life for a long time and you're about to reemerge with a new album, right? A shout out to my boy, Post. But the Seven of Cups, maybe it feels like we have a creative sort of sludge around us. It could be an emotional blockage. It could be that we've been feeling a little overcome with negative emotions. You know? And this is what we're trying to purge. This is what we're trying to detox from. Just hold on to a lot of negative stuff, anger, resentment, some pain, you know. We're trying to work our way through this. The problem is, though, if we stay here too long, we sink deeper into it. And that is definitely going to ruin our plans. That's definitely not what we want. That's something that's going to eat away at us for a long time. We have to find a way to discharge this. And the best remedy against water, of course, is fire. We have an 8 over a 7, right? Wands over cups, an 8 over a 7, fire's going to win. So it's through your willpower, it's through your intention that you're going to do this, that you're going to get out of this funk, or you're going to purge these, everything that we've been holding on to, releasing a lot of this karma. In the background, we have a 4 of Pentacles. The 4 of Pentacles, to me, feels like a situation in which we thought we were safe. This is safety, security, stability. And perhaps the hermit is now retreating into themselves because we realize that this situation we were in maybe wasn't as stable or as safe as we thought it was. Okay? So we kind of, our boat got rocked a little bit. And then the hermit said, oh, okay, I am done with that. I don't want any piece, I don't want any part of that. And so, you know, we're here in this hermit mode, and that 7 of Cups, and we're sort of overcoming those feelings. However you want to describe those feelings, this is, we kind of thought we were safe, but we got ourselves into a toxic situation. Okay? That there was some kind of, you know, whatever we want, emotional entropy. Yeah. And so when we take the hermit and the 4 of Pentacles together, that's the hermit sort of retreating into their own domain, you know, staying at home, not seeing friends, you know. It could be an isolation. And if we're in that isolation too long, now there's an important role that this kind of magical retirement may have. The hermit sort of goes to its safe place and does their work. You meditate, you process, you live your life, you focus on your needs and your thoughts and beliefs, and you really do the inner work, you know. We stay there too long, though, and this kind of feeling returns. This starts to grow all over again. So once we purge that energy, we have to immediately re-engage, because if we don't, if we linger there, then this 7 of Cups is going to grow right back. This is a quicksand. This is the birth of something really kind of poisonous, right? And we can't feed ourselves on that. So the Queen has to kind of turn things around. This is sort of the practical aspect of it, because we're sort of recapitulating with the Queen of Pentacles, looking at the past, right? Understanding what this was, what were our expectations, what went wrong, what went right. And we're realizing that we're going to have to take a stand. We're going to have to get up and throw off the protective cloak, and we're going to have to be this fire energy. We're going to have to invoke our confidence. That Queen of Wands is very confident, very much in charge. Yeah. And it's sort of, it's an act of will that gets us out of the quicksand. To be stuck in this, we get sad, depressed, melancholy. We start looking for ways to to dull the perception. And we sink further and further and further and further. The Queen of Wands is kind of standing up and saying, no, I refuse. It's rather, we're getting angry rather than getting depressed. Okay? And both can be very toxic. Anger can be very toxic, and this sort of depression or this melancholy or this sadness can be very toxic too. But sometimes it takes an act of will to overcome this sinking feeling. And it's at that precise moment that we realize, okay, this is the turning point. This is where now I've understood what this means, and what this cycle was, and what this karma was. See, to me, it's a 4. It's kind of it's a temporary thing that's become a little bit too permanent, you know? It's something that should have been a temporary or a cyclic kind of thing, but now we're sort of lingering there too long. And it kind of takes an act of will to break that cycle, to get out of that pattern, to bust out of this sort of tower, right? Just the same way it takes a new habit or a new impulse or a new intention to override an old one. I feel like this is a karmic thing for you. And I feel like we are standing up and we are ready for the future. And we're getting geared up. We're getting a little bit angry, but in kind of a healthy way. We're starting to feel our power now. And I think we're ready to re-engage, ready to get back in the ring, ready to get back on the horse. We're choosing to sort of to get back to it. I think in a way we have to leave the anger and the resentment behind. Okay, I don't think either of these are really all that healthy at this time, right? Especially if this is a family thing, right? We had to have the sadness or the melancholy or the resentment keeps us away. We have this anger. Maybe this keeps us away too. Maybe it sort of provokes us to go here and sort of have a screaming match. Well, that's not going to work too well either, right? So I think we have to go through both of these feelings, and then we've got to just choose the kind of middle road. It doesn't mean that you have to reconcile with your family. It doesn't mean you have to get back with your ex. But it means we're ready to sort of leave the past behind us, put this in the rearview mirror. The Queen of Pentacles is that turning point where we turn our face to the future now. We leave this in the past. Okay? It could be a family thing. We've got the 3 court cards. I do wonder if there's an older female energy that you sort of have some sort of beef with. Okay? Now, the Lover's card does not mean reconciliation. It does not mean that we have to forgive and forget and hug it out. No, it means that we're leaving this feeling, the anger and the resentment, all of this stuff, leaving it in the past. And we're getting back to living our life. We're making the choice to live our lives. Maybe without that person anymore. Maybe without that whole situation. Maybe with them. Maybe this is, we're going, maybe we are reconciling. That's not the point. The point is that you're choosing to embrace life again, to emerge from this hermit mode energy. Okay? And as we talk about the path of the serpent, I'd like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's totally free, and it supports the channel, and I appreciate that. I have another channel, Dove and Serpent Bedtime Stories. Please check that out, and come find me on Facebook, Dove and Serpent Tarot, with the blue check mark. If it doesn't have the blue check mark, it's not me. Okay. Now, the 8 of Wands is your general energy. I kind of feel like you're making the choice to re-engage with life. I don't know that the same people are going to be involved. I see the 8 of Wands as you just getting out there and doing different things, getting engaged with the world, starting new activities, start a new hobby, maybe go out on a date, go out with a friend, take yourself out to dinner, right? Learn a new skill, pick up a new hobby, a painting, a music, do different things, diversify. Right? Diversify your energy. I think this is going to do wonders for you. I think this is how we start getting back into the swing of things. We just start doing stuff. They don't have to be these big, grand things. Just do these little things that sort of interest you. And do as many of them as you can. I feel like this is you really getting out there and trying a lot of different things. Yeah. Because through that process, I think we'll come to this Prince of Cups. You'll begin to understand what it is you really like and what it is you're really after. I think you may be meeting a Scorpio person very soon. Okay? I think that if it's not a Scorpio, you're meeting somebody that's very artistic. There's a relationship with somebody that they're kind of they're a very mysterious kind of person. They seem almost like a kind of a brooding artist in a way. But I think it's going to be someone who's really very authentic, and it's somebody that you can really be yourself around. Now, maybe you already have a person like that, or you will be meeting a person that sort of fits that bill. Okay. But as you're out doing these just random things in life, just getting outside and having activities, getting engaged with things, just going and doing whatever random thing you can think of, that's where you're going to meet with very authentic people that are going to resonate with you. Okay? This could be one person, this could be a group of people. Yeah. I think that you're finding new ways to express yourself in the world. That it really is, I mean, we really think of a hermit, someone who spent a lot of time in hermit mode and is now kind of coming out of that. And there's just a lot of energy has been sort of stored up, and now it's all coming out. So I feel like your life's going to get so busy in this hermit energy, not really a lot to do, right? I mean, maybe there is the routines of life and things, but really this is exciting. This is a lot of fun things, a lot of just whatever sort of interests you. Go pursue it. It's not a deep commitment. It's not a lifelong contract. It's just, it interests you. Go see what it's about. Okay? And I think that it's going to put you in touch with a lot of interesting people. And it's going to be a way for you to express yourself and figure out what you like and what you want. Okay. The Four of Swords, to me, kind of feels like almost like we're acquiescing. It kind of feels this is the position of what we don't want, or this is the position of the obstacle. It could be what we need. We don't want it, but we need it. Maybe that card is the card of forgiveness. For your sake, not for anyone else's sake, but so that we can get through this, so that we can let go of both the anger and the resentment or the melancholy. Maybe we just need to forgive and basically forget. Maybe we need to forgive ourselves. Maybe we need to forgive the world, forgive the other person. It doesn't mean that we're getting back together with them, but it means that we're freeing ourselves from that kind of entanglement. Okay? But at the same time, I can see that that's the obstacle for you, because you feel as if you forgive, that's you sort of condoning the behavior or somehow tolerating that. Okay, and that's why I think it's important for us to realize that this forgiveness is for us, so we can be free of that nonsense. Not for the other person. We don't have to tell them we forgive them, right? But we need to let it go. We need to, in our heart, in our mind, we need to forgive it and let it go, move on. Otherwise, it's always sort of tugging at you. And really, 7 is tugging you down. The 10 of Swords then becomes the freedom that we have. We're getting out of that bird cage. We're getting out of the bird cage of hermit sort of being over here. We're freeing ourselves. The 10 of Swords becomes a very good card. Okay? Because we're letting go of this past situation And we're taking this moment, this turning point opportunity to release this karma, get out of that birdcage, spread our wings, and learn what we like and experience what we like and do what feels good, right? As a way of re-engaging with the world. Let's look at our mystery card. Of course, I'd like to see some really good water energy. I always say that, 9 or 10 of cups, right? I think we might get your power card, though, the Chariot. Yeah. If you have a prediction, put that in the comments down below. Let's see what we have. Temperance. Temperance, the art of life. Not going to either extreme, taking a middle road, not the extreme up here or down here, but taking a middle road. But also understanding that this situation from the past has strengthened you. It's tempered you. It's helped to solidify your sense of self, to strengthen your willpower. Okay. I think this is also a suggestion to get back to the art of living. Right? Make life your art. And that means that the Eight of Wands is painting in a lot of colors. You know? We're doing a lot of different things. We're trying to make our life as rich and as full and as deep and as meaningful as possible. There's an art to life. And it needs, you know, life is like a gumbo, right? There's a basic recipe for it, and then you got to just throw in whatever you like. Whatever sounds good. The more stuff that's in there, the better. Because it's all going to add to the richness and the flavor of life. But it's your choice. It's not anybody else's ingredients. Nobody else is cooking your gumbo for you, right? You're doing it. I like this card. I think this is a nice confirmation here. Yeah. I'm looking forward to our extended reading. We're going to do that right now. There's a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Cancer, Tuesday and Friday. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Subscribe to Dove and Serpent Bedtime Stories. And find me on Facebook. Look for the blue check mark. Yeah. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.